Hello everyone and welcome back to Lakeside, and this is part 3 of the container build-up area. So let's just see how far we've got on this week. Okay, bye for now. Bye. Hello again. Right, so here I am sitting at my new container yard and TMD and engine shed area, and this week has been primarily doing all the track work and the points and doing the dropper wires. The last video you saw was the track was laid as it is now, slightly different but basically the same, but there was no proper power to it because there were no dropper wires. So this week really I've been lifting up all the track, soldering dropper wires and connecting those up, and primarily getting that section from where the point is, where it comes off the main line, right the way up to the very end where the TMD is, getting all that powered correctly so that it works. Now I had a hell of a job doing the TMD area, and it was primarily the way I wanted it, which was that I wanted diesels down there not getting power, and I didn't want any complicated switching on a panel or anything so I could isolate them. I didn't want any of that. I wanted it all done through the points. Now I've used Interfrog points on every single part of this extension. There's no electrofrog points at all, and the reasoning behind that was that I wanted that facility to isolate the track where I wanted it isolated. So if I have 2-3 diesels sitting in that TMD area, 4 or 5 even, what I didn't want them to have was power going to them to constantly be going to the decoders. So I had to wire this up so that that was the case, that I was isolating a area by changing a point, and that TMD area was a mare. It really was. I was getting shorts, I was getting no power, I was getting all sorts of things apart from the thing I wanted. But I persevered, and with the help of insulated rail joiners and ordinary rail joiners, then I got what I wanted. But it really was a time taker to get that right, and it was primarily on that 3-way point. Now a 3-way point, I've got another one up there, is normally absolutely fine. Okay, so you just have 3 tracks coming off of one, and if you look at the instructions on the back, it tells you how to do it for that particular set of points, and it indicates where the rail joiner should be, what type, whether it should be steel or plastic for the insulators, and that worked absolutely fine. This one down here, which I will show you later on, was a nightmare. It really was. But anyway, I've sorted it in the end, and I'll show you the reason why it was a nightmare. But for me it was because I just did not get how to do it with the way I wanted it to be done, and that's the important bit. So I will show you that a bit later, but what I can do is that, as you can see here, hopefully, or there, maybe, yeah, there, I've started laying the base down for the hard standing. I took the other stuff up, I wasn't happy with that. I'm now using a series of different cards of different thicknesses to give me what I've got now, and that appears to be working. Before I was getting some slight rubbing on the wheels of some of the diesels and the trucks as well. But that's all gone now, that's all okay, it's all nice and clear. I can still clean the track because it's slightly below the top of the track, so that's all good. So I can now carry on using this card method. So that's that. The track is all now permanently fixed down and pinned. So I haven't got to worry about any of that. I've got no more dropper wires to go on, so that's all done. Seeing this in front of me, I've put 2 wheels on the crane on this side. I've still got the 2 wheels to do on, sorry, not actually 2, it's 2 wheels on each foot, so that's 4 per side. So I've got this side left to do. But having checked it, then it seems to be okay at the moment. So I should carry on and do these 2, and then that'll be done. What else? Oh yeah, the turntable, which I don't know whether you can see from that angle, but the turntable is now in, it's calibrated, and it's programmed to stop at the specific turnouts I've got up there. So that's all done. So all this week has been really primarily to do with the track work and getting all that sorted before I do anything else, because obviously that's the main part of it, isn't it, is the track work. The roadway, I've now decided what I want to do with the roadway. You can't see it from that angle, but basically what I will do is I will have a lorry coming down here. His trailer's come off. A lorry will come down from the, let's move that out of the way. It will come down from the bridge, which again I'll show you later on, and it will have the container on, if it's got a container to ditch. So it will come along here and it will turn round, go across round here and come back up, go across the track and come and then park here, ready for the crane to pick the container up, pick it up and take it off and put it wherever it needs to go, onto the truck or stack it or wherever. And then the empty lorry can then travel off. Now the reason why I've done that is so that in the UK we drive on the left hand side, so the lorries can come down in the correct lane from where they've come from on the left hand side, turn round, come here, and it's just like driving on a road. You're keeping on the same lane, and then it will exit up the bridge and then out to wherever it's got to go. So that's the procedure for the trucks when they come in. So I'm happy with that. It ain't perfect, but that'll do for me. Okay, so what we'll do, I don't know if you'll be able to see it there or not, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop here, and because of the camera I will move about up and down here, and I'm just going to do a few manoeuvres with the locos just to show you what I can do and what I can't do. And there's not much I can't do now, actually. It all seems to be working fine. So let's give that a go now. Okay, so I'll speak to you in a minute. Hello again. Right, before we start manoeuvring some of the locos about, I just thought I would explain to you this three-way point system. Now, with a three-way point, it's very easy to connect and wire up, as long as these three are just separate tracks. But as you can see, I've got a point coming back off that track going this way. So it feeds in, up and back down again. And that is where my problems occurred. Because obviously I was getting a feed in from the point and a feed in from this track. Now I could isolate that track. If we go up here, I could isolate that track with this point here. So if I did that, then because it's a initial frog point, that means that track is now dead. But in theory, that is. But of course, you can see that it's still got feed, and that's because it's getting feed from another track. However, now if I change this point, as you can see the rear lights are on. If I change this point, it's now not getting a feed, and that is what I wanted. So all those tracks, not quite all those tracks, I've got this one here still alive, but you see what I'm trying to get to. It wasn't a case of just wiring up the three-way point so that I could get a feed in. I wanted it so that I could isolate it, and I've done that. Let's put that back on. I've done that without any switching, isolating, switching. I wanted it all done from the points, which is what I've got. So I'm very happy with that. If we just switch that over, that's to the straight now. Okay, so let's just check that I've got this right, otherwise it will derail. That should be okay. Right, so what we'll do, we'll bring the class 70 up and bring it up here, and where am I? Right, it's going to come up to here and stop, reverse back round, and I can then switch it to go and pick up this series of containers. So we'll do that first. So we've got to get it in the right direction. We might as well have sound on this. I won't speak while the sound's on, you'll just see me bringing it up, bringing it back and connecting it up to there. Should make its way now. Yeah, there it comes. Brakes are off. Change the point.
Well, we'll stop it there because I want to bring it back and take it down on this track again. So, and the reason why I want to take it back down on that track is I want to show you the wheel clearance on this hard standing. Slow it down. Get my iPad out of the way. And I think that is just about perfect. Outside the frame. There we go. So nothing wrong with that. I'm really pleased with that. Bit of dirt on the track there. Right. Okay, so that's that section. The next one, if I can find it on here. Right. So the next one I want to show you is this one, which is the Class 66. So she's sitting on the track for platform 1. And she's just sitting there waiting to go into the yard, into the TMD area. So what I need to do is set my track work up so that she can come in. Let me just move this iPad a minute. I've got stuff everywhere. So let me get the track set up so that she can come in. Right, so that's that one, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Right. So what I plan to do, hopefully, is to bring her off the main line, sitting there, and she will come along, go up, come back down, along here, and down to where the fueling station is down there. So into lane 2 of the TMD, if you like. So again, we'll have the sound on, as long as it's not too loud. If it's too loud, I'll turn it off. Actually, that's not so bad. So I don't know if you can see, but I've gone from a elevation where there's foam and it's now going down to where there's no foam, and that's how it will be. I just need to pack underneath this area here. So, you can see I need to clean the track, can't you? Right. Be interesting actually to see how it goes along here, because I haven't cleaned this track. I should have done really. Now the only thing I've bought for the whole of this section, apart from the crane, is 2 3-way points. So it's that one up there and the one down there. All the rest are points which I had left over from the previous layout and the track as well. So it pays to, if you are taking up your layout, to not just rip it up, but to carefully take it up. It saves you an awful lot of money. Bad again. So we'll stop it by the fueling point. It's just crashed it. It's just, oh, I haven't set that up, that's why. There you go. Right, so now that's by the fueling point. Now the reason why I wanted to show you that was that it gives me 2 access points or 2 entry points and exits. So I've got the first one here, which is obviously coming off the main line, and I've also got that one there. And that's the reason why I wanted the 3-way point in that position. Right, so let's turn the sound off of that. Okay, so the next one, this is going to be a wing and a prayer, I'm afraid. But the next one I want to try to attempt to show you is the last part, which is the turntable. So what we've done so far are 2 out of the 3 elements, and that is going into the container yard itself, going into a TMD area, and this time it would be the turn of the crosstie, going onto the turntable and going onto a track which will take it into an engine shed. So let me get my controller for the turntable, bear with me a minute. Right, so let's get the crosstie set up. So at the moment she's sitting here ready to go into the shed, but of course, just like the 66 just now, it can come in off that line, across that point, across here and onto there, and then change that point and back. So let's change that to give me power. Hopefully power. So let's see if we've got power. Yes, we have. So you can see the lights are on at the front. We'll take her straight onto the turntable, and we'll take her into this track here, which is her shed track. It's the one with the least, or one of the two with the least curve on it. Right, so we'll have sound on this one. So I need to go the other way. I've still got to level this out yet. It's not quite as level as what I wanted it to be. Thing with this loco, it carries on for ages before it stops. Okay, I think that stopped. Right, so now we want to head for this track here. So I've got two options. I can either just come round to here and take it in, or I can turn it round and go head in to that way. And just for the exercise, I will turn it around so it goes in frontwards. So that is track 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So on here, I just press 5. So head move to 5. Yes. Press go. It just starts off. Now the great thing about this turntable is that it sorts all the polarity out, so there's no cutting out of sound, and it doesn't short out when you go onto the track over there. It knows what the polarity should be. And that's the main reason why I bought this ADM turntable. Down for the track. There we go, spot on. So all I have to do now, I'll just check which way it's going. Alright, so I need to go frontwards. Yep. Alright, so off we go. So now it should, hopefully, if you can see the 5 bit square in there. there she is, all tucked away nicely. So hopefully that's given you an overview of how far I've got so far. It doesn't look much different, I know, from part 2 last week, but believe me, there's been a huge amount of work, primarily on the electrics of the track. But I think now it's all finalised. I can now start doing some more of this hard standing, and I should bring that out, as I said to you previously, I should bring it out to here, so that gives plenty of room for trucks to turn around and go back across the hard standing and park up. I've had many suggestions of different routes. Let's turn that sound off. I've had many suggestions of different routes, and it was surprising actually. Out of all the suggestions I had for the part 2, the main ones were primarily to do with the route of these lorries. And there were so many different suggestions. There was an underpass to take lorries out, there was to go down the side here, what else was there? I can't remember. There were several different things to suggest to me a different route from the route I'm picking now. Excuse me. It's the simplest, and as I keep saying, the main object of this layout and this extension is simplicity. You know, there's not much work involved, either running it or creating it, and that's the way I want to keep it. It might not be correct or whatever, you know, I'm not going to keep saying it, you know what I mean, but it's what I want, and that's the main thing. So if that's what I want, then that's what I'm going to do. And it works so well. I'm really pleased with the way this is working. It's very, very simple, hardly anything to go wrong. It just works, and that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, I shall leave it there. I will do a small running session at the end with something which you haven't seen yet, and it's a front scene, back scene, if that makes any sense. I've got a board going from here to there with an industrial distribution area on the back scene, but the back scene is at the front, because this is the front really. That's the back scene over there, isn't it really? So it's a front back screen. So I'm going to put that up, and I will pop the camera on the track here and get my cube out, which is now working. The Polaroid have obviously updated their app, and that's now fully functioning again, which is brilliant. So I should use that plus this camera which I'm holding. Oh, I'm talking too much. And we'll see what we get. Okay, so that'll be the final part. Okay, so bye for now, and hopefully I'll speak to you again next weekend, maybe, depending on how I get on. Okay, so bye for now, and hopefully you've enjoyed the video so far. Okay, so bye for now. Bye.